the Alberto Knot. I use 6 or 8 pound fluorocarbon. It really depends on your preference and what you're fishing for. And then I'll do this to a 15 pound Power Pro high vis leader. I find that's the best combination for me. I have never had this knot break once. It's really strong. As far as I know, it's the strongest knot next to the FG knot, and this knot is significantly easier to tie and does not require any separate apparatus like the FG knot can require. Alright, there's your main line. Again, I like to use 15 pound Power Pro high vis. Some people like 10 pound. I found the 10 pound was a little too twisty for me. So I like the 15 pound personally, but you know, again, it's personal preference. So give yourself some slack coming from your main line. Have yourself out a pre-measured out piece of fluorocarbon. I usually do about 3 arm spans or so for a regular leader, and then probably like 3.5 for a drop shot. Give yourself a little bit to work with. Alright, first thing, make a loop. Then take your main line. Never hurts to wet it. Okay, so take your main line, put it up through your loop. I like to pinch it. Get it started, kind of pinch it like that, and then pull yourself out enough slack so you have enough to wind back and forth, and then start your turns. I usually like to do about 7. 1. You want to tie this nice and snug as you wind this around. Not super tight, but definitely don't leave too much slack. See what it looks like so far. Okay, then you're going to start to wind back. Take it, pinch it, start to wind back. On that second wind around, I like to make sure I don't have too much of a loop right there, because that'll screw up the top of the knot. Just pull that a little tight, and then keep winding around. And then if you can, weave it through that first set that you have. And again, keep it nice and snug as you go through. Once you get all the way back, you take your tag end, and then you want to check your loop, and in the same direction that you started off in, you take your tag end and then put it through that same direction. Very important that you do that, otherwise the knot will slip. Okay, pull that through. So you should have something that looks something like that about now. Okay, what I like to do is kind of tie this slowly. First things first, wet it up nice. And then take your tag in, throw any slack you got there, kind of pull it down on the fluorocarbon loop that you have. Tighten up a little bit more. See how it's starting to come together? Tighten up from this side a little bit. And then what I like to do also, as you continue to tighten, spread it out a little bit. Try to keep it as nice and thin as possible. Tightening. found the better that you weave it as you do that back and forth, nice and smooth, it'll come out much better. Okay, then from here, you want to really cinch everything down. Just take your tag end and your now floral main line, give it a little snug tug, and then, more importantly, your main line leader. Take it, cinch it. Okay. And then you can start trimming your tags. I like to get close, but not too close. Sorry about that. If you do, sometimes it'll slip when you go to that final tightening. Then I'll take my tag end, I'll cut it till it's about, I don't know, I'll give it like 3/4 of an inch or so. And then just do a final cinch. I want to leave that little bit of extra just in case it slips just a bit. Cinch it, make sure it's nice and tight, and then do that final snip off of your fluorocarbon tag. I like to get this real nice and close, otherwise it tends to catch on that front eye when you cast it. Okay. Again, just test for strength, and there you go. Nice solid Alberto knot. Guarantee the line will snap before this does. And then for good measure, if you want to, take a little bit of clear nail polish and then just, you know, put a little dab on there when you tighten everything up, let it dry. That was the Alberto knot, aka modified Albright. Some people tie it a little bit differently than that. That's pretty much the way that I found that works best for me. And like I said, that little dab of clear nail polish works really good to make sure you get that extra strength.